The Devil's Footprints, the Unsolved Devil's Footprints UK mystery. The morning that should not have existed. In the early hours of February 9, 1855, something impossible crossed the sleeping countryside of England. No one saw it arrive. No one heard it leave. Yet when the sun rose over the frozen fields of Devon, the land itself told a story that has never been fully explained. This is the Devil's Footprints UK mystery, a trail of hoof-like marks stretching across villages, rooftops, rivers, and walls, as if something walked through England without obeying the rules of nature. Tonight, we will walk slowly, step by step, through the footprints themselves. The night Devon froze. The winter of 1855 was brutal. Snow fell thick across southern England, sealing the land beneath ice and silence. Fences vanished under white drifts. Rivers stiffened. Fields became untouched canvases. On the night of February 8, most of Devon slept peacefully. There were no storms, no reports of animals escaping, no unusual sounds, just cold and silence. But something moved. Footprints from nowhere. At dawn, villagers began to step outside. What they saw made them stop. Cut cleanly into the snow were perfectly spaced footprints, each one about 4 inches long, shaped like a cloven hoof. They appeared suddenly, and they went on, and on, for over 100 miles. This is what makes the Devil's Footprints UK mystery so disturbing. The footprints did not wander randomly. They moved with intention. Straight lines. No hesitation. No confusion. As if whatever made them knew exactly where it was going. They crossed the impossible. The footprints did things no animal could. They climbed over 12-foot-high walls without disturbing the snow on top. They crossed roofs, stepping neatly along tiles. They passed through locked gardens, appearing on one side and vanishing on the other. They crossed wide rivers without breaking the ice. And then, they continued. No sliding. No gaps. No wing marks. Just steps. One after another. A single line of steps. Witnesses noticed something chilling. The prints formed a single line, not left-right like an animal. Just one hoof. Perfectly spaced. As if something walked on one leg, or floated just above the ground, touching down lightly. Farmers followed the trail for miles until it vanished suddenly at church walls, hedges, or open fields. Some said the footprints stopped at graveyards. Others claimed they ended at church doors. And in the deeply religious England, there was only one conclusion people could reach. The devil walked here. The newspapers exploded. Panic spread across Devon. Clergymen preached sermons warning of judgment. Villagers locked doors, nailed windows, and kept children inside. Because folklore already had a name for such tracks. They were called Devil's Footprints. According to legend, the devil himself leaves cloven hoof marks when he walks the earth. And in 1855, England was deeply religious, deeply fearful, and completely unprepared. Thus, the legend became history. And the history became the Devil's Footprints UK mystery. Science steps in and fails. Authorities tried to calm the public. Several explanations were proposed. Theory 1. Escaped animals: kangaroos, badgers, goats. But none could explain the straight line precision, the rooftop crossings, the rivers, the single file steps. Theory 2. Balloons or kites. Some suggested a tethered balloon dragged something behind it. But the spacing never changed. the depth never varied, and balloons do not climb walls. Theory 3. Mice or rats. Later theories suggested hopping rodents, but rodent tracks showed hairs. These did not. Something watching. Some witnesses reported something else. A presence. Farmers claimed livestock refused to move near the tracks. Dogs growled and pulled away. One man claimed he followed the footprints into a field, and felt suddenly watched. He turned back. The footprints continued alone. The church connection. One of the most unsettling details of the Devil's Footprints UK mystery involves churches. Multiple reports claimed the footprints stopped abruptly at church walls, or circled church buildings, or vanished at holy ground. In folklore, evil entities are unable to cross consecrated land. Coincidence or pattern? Even skeptics admitted something about the trail felt intentional. Disappearance. After several days, the snow melted. The footprints vanished. No creature was found. No hoaxer confessed. No physical evidence remained. Just newspaper articles, eyewitness accounts, and fear. The official explanation? None. The case was quietly abandoned. But the legend never died. Modern reinvestigations. Today, historians still argue. Some suggest rare atmospheric conditions. Others propose psychological mass hysteria. But one problem remains. The reports came from dozens of villages, independently. People who never spoke to each other. All describing the same thing. The same footprints. The same direction. The same impossible behavior. And to this day, no explanation fully accounts for every detail of the Devil's Footprints UK mystery. If it happened today, imagine waking up tomorrow. Snow outside your home, and a single line of hoof-like prints crossing your roof, your garden, your locked gate, stretching beyond the horizon. Would you call it an animal? Or would you remember this story? The terrifying possibility. Perhaps the most disturbing theory is the simplest. What if the footprints were not meant to be understood? What if they were not random? What if something passed through Devon that night? Something briefly visible only by the mark it left behind. Not flesh, not bone, but presence. The footprints remain. The snow melted. The fear faded. But the question remains. What walked across England in 1855? What crossed walls and rivers? What left marks no creature should make? And why did it never return? This is why, over 170 years later, we still whisper about the Devil's Footprints UK mystery. Because sometimes, the ground remembers what the world tries to forget. And sometimes, the footprints are closer than we think.